What's going on, gang? Baltmatrix here, and today we are taking a look at the HG1/144 Mobile Armor Hashmal. This is the mobile armor that appeared in the second season of Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans. Now, quick just history lesson. The reason for the Calamity War that existed 300 years prior to when Iron-Blooded Orphans takes place was because of these guys. These mobile armors are AI-driven and, well, they pretty much only exist to kill humans. Nobody knows why. Or at least the show hasn't even told us why yet. It would be nice if they would explain that, but they haven't as of the time of this recording, which I believe there are only 5 episodes left as of the time of this recording. I picked this up at HobbyLink Japan. You can also pick it up over at BigBadToyStore.com, I believe, and Gundam Planet. It is a 1/144 size model kit, so it's not actually that big, but this version does scale perfectly well with the 1/144 size class. As you can see, we have Hashmal here, and I will be going through all of his weapons and modes. He also comes, or I should say it, also comes with this super wobbly stand, as you can see. That's one big issue I have with Gundam models lately is the figures are fine, but as soon as you put them on the stand, they turn into wobbly messes. But the stand holds the figure with no real problems, other than wobble. The figure comes with 3 different weapons, the first of which are kinetic energy shot launchers. They are these giant arrows that fit on the bottom of the feet, and they peg in right into this little peg hole so they can be shot out of the claws. It's a very interesting weapon, and I actually do think it's pretty cool because it is another long-range weapon. The design on these mobile armors is really interesting because they have long-range, short-range, and mid-range weaponry all built into the mobile armors. The mid to long-range are these kinetic shot launchers. The short-range are obviously the claws here with the helper units, and then the long-range are its beam cannons. Yes, these things actually have beam cannons that are built into the head. The mobile armor's head design is more of that of a bird than a traditional mobile armor, which is pretty cool. The only issue with this model, though, is that the top of the head and the bottom of the head come off way too easily. Just way too easily. The overall construction, though, of the plastic is okay, if not a little bit thin. So to actually get the beam to deploy, we have to completely take apart the head. Then this little thing right here we have to turn and set it so that we can then mount the top of the head up a little higher, exposing the actual beam cannon right there at the tip of my finger. So we have to take the head off, turn this, put the head back together, and then attach the beam. The beam itself is bigger than most of the transformers I have on my desk right now. I mean, this thing is, I'd say, about 8 inches long, and it looks really cool. It actually looks very cool. It is very well detailed in translucent plastic and comes in 2 parts, which you just sandwich together. It's awesome. I just wish it was easier to open Hashmal's mouth, as opposed to having to take it apart, turn one piece, put it back together. It's a bit fidgety that way. I understand why they designed it, but it is annoying. The last weapon to talk about is the super hard wired blade, which is really cool and was devastating in the show. And if you've also been watching the show, you know that once Hashmal was defeated, this wire blade was repainted and incorporated into Gundam Barbatos Lupus Rex. It comes with this nice, hard core cable. I mean, I'm really appreciative that they actually put metal in this cable so you can bend it and move it as you wish. Unfortunately, it doesn't work so well with posing because it just kind of gets in the way, and you have to use this stand, which if you have the Pluma on the stand, it doesn't really work. So it's not great, but I appreciate the addition. And speaking of the Pluma, here we have it. The model's kit comes with 1 unit, and these units are actually produced by Hashmal in the show, and they act as support units. It is posable and able to sit either on the ground or on the little stand. So we'll pop it off the stand, and I'll show you some of the up-close articulation. It looks really, really cool. I love the way it looks. The center body and drill have some posability to them, and then the front arms do have some posability, though the front arms do have a tendency to fall off at the elbows very easily. Not that big of a deal. A little bit of pledge in there would fix it, but it is worth noting. I like the little Plumas a lot. I think they look pretty cool, and as support drones, they work really well, if not looking completely impractical. But I don't know. I kind of dig it. It's like a little mini mobile armor Zaku. Now, the Plumas, which we have here, as I said, are produced within Hashmal, and then the thing's capable of replicating its own support units, which doesn't make any sense because I have no idea where it builds that stuff. It's so weird. There's no explanation in the show either about how it does everything that it does. I would very much like that. There's also, behind these red panels, originally I thought that behind these red panels were like more beam cannons or like scattering beam cannons. But they're not beam cannons. They're actually microwave generators used to communicate and control the Pluma. Just very odd. You can pose the little panels and put them out like that. I prefer not to. Though if these were like scattering beam cannons on the front and the back, that would make a little bit more sense of why they were included in the molding. The mobile armor also possesses this weird cruising mode, or I guess it's a space mode. It was never shown in the show, which makes me wonder if it's going to show up in the last couple of episodes, or maybe there will be a movie where all of the survivors of whatever's going to happen at the end of the show have to fight a bunch of mobile armors. I wouldn't be surprised if Bandai pulled that. I like this model a lot. I think it's a very cool addition to my Gundam collection. However, there are some minor issues. The first problem has to do with the way that the claws connect with the legs. And I'm going to zoom in here so you guys can see. That little connector right there is already starting to break. I would have much preferred some kind of ball joint solution as opposed to just this straight latch connector, which both of the legs are already starting to break. It's a big problem on this unit. I also would have liked the head to have been designed differently. But other than these two issues, I think the unit is actually really kind of cool. It's definitely something we've never seen before from Gundam or any other giant robot shows that I can think of. And the lore behind the thing is also neat, though pretty much unexplored totally in the show. I also dislike the fact that the thing wobbles so much, but that's kind of the run-of-the-mill issue with a lot of Gundams and their stands. Nothing I could really do about that. Overall, it's worth having in your collection if you're a big fan of Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans. It's not an expensive model either, about $40. I think that's right. At least that's what I paid for it with shipping. At the end of the day, though, I'm a little bit worried about it holding up over time. When I start playing with it and I start posing it, things fall off. The head falls off or falls apart. These main bindings on the wings have a tendency to fall off pretty easily. The feet and claws pop off very easily. And then on the Pluma, the little arms here at the elbows pop off a lot. And the weapons don't stay on very well in any of the weapons. The blade, the shots, or the beam, or the big beam. Overall, I don't think it's the best model in the world, but I do like it. So gang, I hope you have enjoyed this video review. As always, I am Baltmatrix. I ask you to like, comment, and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it, and give me a sub if you loved it. And as always, I will catch you next time.